Welcome back to Pretty Swell Adventures, where we tell you what we're experiencing as owners of an Antares 11. In today's video, you'll follow us on our first week-long adventure and find out what we're learning as we spend more than 1 or 2 days on the boat in a single stretch. Be sure to subscribe to get notifications when we post new videos and to like the video so that the YouTube algorithm shows this to more people looking at the boat. Let's get started.
Here we are on a very special adventure for us. We've been working towards this all summer, and we are headed for a 5-night adventure down to Rhode Island and Connecticut, and Jay has plotted out our course all along the way. This last weekend, we were nervous that we were even going to be able to go because of Hurricane Debbie, but the seas have calmed, the wind has died down, it's beautiful, and it's supposed to be beautiful all week.
And so this will be our first big adventure. I hope it's pretty swell. We'll give you all a little bit of tidbits about everything that we do along the way, just kind of life on board this wonderful Antares 11 flybridge boat. So stay tuned for this episode. I'm not sure it's every week. We're not doing very well at that, but this episode of Pretty Swell Adventures.
Well, we made it. It was a wonderful crossing. Sorry we didn't get any video on the water for you. Maybe the next couple of days we'll do that. In any case, we made it to Stonington. And here we are, we're in front of the Milagro Cafe. And across the street is another cafe, and then down the street was Noah's. All three were recommended to us, and they're all closed on Monday. So, word to the wise, if you're coming to Stonington, Monday's a closed day for the good restaurants. We'll keep looking. There's another one up the end of the street that we'll see. Anyway, still had fun on the water today. We did end up finding and enjoying a nice lunch and then walked around Stonington, which is a quintessential small New England town. Many homes have plaques stating the year and the original builder of the house, and there were all the old cannons and other historical things that make this part of the USA so cool. The next morning we cruised 45 minutes west over to Mystic, Connecticut for a walk through another town with significant maritime history. After a nice lunch, we cruised another half an hour south to our destination for the night, Fisher's Island, New York, a wonderfully calm and quiet harbor to finish a great cruising day.
Well, good morning. Here we are on the third day of our first voyage on Pretty Swell. And we are in lovely little...
We're in Fisher's Island, New York.
That's it. Anyway, it's stuff about the boat. This is all boat owner stories, right? So, first one is
the Seakeeper.
the Seakeeper. Oh, tell us.
The Seakeeper is a home run. It is a must for anyone who has the least bit motion sickness. It has made such a difference for me being on the boat and you being more comfortable as well. When we were going through Buzzards Bay and all that, it's always rocky and choppy and stuff, but the Seakeeper, it doesn't make it perfect, but it smooths it out to a point where it's comfortable to be on.
Yeah. Big win, and so awesome to do. Second thing is, we're finding there are different areas on the boat that we like. We're sitting up here on the bow, and it's a wonderful place to have your coffee in the morning and
cocktails in the evening.
Cocktails in the evening. Of course, the flybridge up behind us is also a nice place to do that. But this little pad up front has been so much of an interesting discovery and kind of a surprise. So big boat up on that. Next thing is just sleeping. So we've noticed a couple things about sleeping.
The first thing for me is, you talk about the mattresses, but for me, Jay pointed this out today that I do have the motion sickness, but we've been able to turn the Seakeeper off at night because you're down on the bed and it's you're not getting a lot of rolling action, and so we have been able to turn the Seakeeper off all night long.
Now that's of course been calm seas at night, but I think it's because you're down near water level. Even though the boat is turning and rolling a little bit, it doesn't show up for you as much when you're down there at water levels. That's a big discovery also. Also, speaking of this front Sunpad, there's a lovely deck hatch here, and we've been able to sleep with it open for a few nights to get it with fresh air rather than having to have the AC on or something like that at night.
Just
And
remember to shut it before you go underway.
absolutely. And oh, by the way, there's been a mention that some of the people in the Facebook group, which I think I mentioned before, there's a Facebook group for Antares 11 owners, have lost their cover for this front pad because they just got kind of basic snaps. One of my projects this season is going to be to replace those snaps with a little one-way unsnap snaps where you actually can only open it from one direction. And if I make it openable from back to front, the wind will never blow it off front to back. So more about that when I do the project. And then the final sleeping thing is, yes, you do need some kind of an extra mattress or mattress topper. We went with a couple of layers of latex. We love latex beds, and that's been a great win. In fact, we've even added to that with the stuff you had made.
I had made a mattress cover, and it's great because they fit it to the exact size of the bed, and it's actually thick enough or big enough that both of our mattresses, which was total 5 inches,
Yeah.
fit in there beautifully. And they did such a quality job. And on that, I felt like the price was right. So we went ahead and ordered fitted sheets for the bed, and they will be sent to us sometime in September.
I'll put the link to that vendor who's in San Diego down in the description so you have some information on that. Then finally, the only other thing is, I guess, you need to learn a little bit of a dance around the engines and flushing the engines. I'm quite obsessive about getting the salt water out of the engines to make sure that they have a long life. And when the engines are up, of course, you have the back bench forward. But when the engines are up, squeezing behind the engines and between that and the bench is a little bit tricky and a pain in the neck. So I've had to learn a dance about how to get at least the first water line on before I put the engines up, then put the engines up, start the water, and then I have to change it, using the hard way. But at least learning that little bit of dance is good. Another dance I have to learn is we'll get the Seakeeper spun up. It takes a long time, like 40 minutes to speed up because it doesn't have huge torque available, power available for torque on the boat. When I switch from shore power during spin up to starting the engines, and I turn off the Seakeeper just to keep the load off of the batteries, but I forget to turn it back on after I start the engines. So I gotta remember to do that. So there's a few kind of work punch list or checklist things that we have to get right. By the way, I made a decent checklist for this. Anybody ever wants the checklist, let me know. I'll post it somewhere and you can get a copy of it, that kind of thing. But I'm pretty obsessed about checklists pre and post, pre-departure and post-arrival. So anyway, that's this one. We're headed to Newport today for a couple of days, and then over to Cutty Hunk for our last day, and that'll be our first 5-day cruise. And so far, it's been pretty swell.
It's been pretty swell.
Anyway, thanks for listening.